Hi Flosstube, I'm Sally. I'm StitchySally here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. Today is Saturday the 12th of April 2025 and this is Flosstube number 96. A very warm welcome whether you are a new or a returning viewer. It is lovely to have you here. If you are new and you like what you see, I would very much appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and also click the bell so that you know when I upload a new video. I am a few days late filming. I haven't been well this week, so I didn't feel like filming on Wednesday, and I've just kind of been going day by day just to see whether I felt well enough to film. So I thought if I haven't done it by Sunday, I will just leave it for another 2 weeks. But I feel awful when I first get up and sort of feel a little bit better, and then by night time I'm feeling a bit crappy again, and the medication that I'm on makes me feel nauseous, so that's great. I've had this before. It's quite a few years ago since though, so it did scare me a little bit, and I just went to the doctors to make sure it was what I thought it was. So anyway, I'm going to get on because I don't want to be too long, and it might be a little bit of a mishmash as well, so please do excuse me. So I'm going to start with some finishes because I've had some finishes, and the first one is Love Poppet Rockin Robin that I was stitching as part of the hashtag Best of British Sal, which is hosted by lovely Sally at Flossy Sews and Grows. The last time you saw this, I just had these two. And here is my finish. Not fully finished yet. I think if I hadn't have felt the way that I did, I would probably have had it fully finished this week. I've got a hoop to finish it into. Wasn't too sure of the size, so I bought two when I was in Boys one day. So I'm really pleased with that, and thank you so much Sally for suggesting this and stitching along with you. I really enjoyed it. It's been absolutely beautiful to stitch. So that might be a fully finish next time I film, maybe. And then the next finish, these aren't in any order, I'm not showing them in the order that I actually finished them, is Samplers and Stitches a little bit of spring. And this is available in the Samplers and Stitches Etsy shop. I think I've linked it down below in the description box. So I stitched it sorry, excuse me, with the DMC conversion, and this is on a piece of 36 count vintage country mocha. Some of it doesn't show up particularly well on the fabric, but I'm not really bothered about that. I love this. I think it is really sweet. Look at this little chick here in the egg. I did show this on Instagram as finished, and then I pictured it with the pattern, the cover photo, looked and realised I'd left these three little flowers off here, buds off. So that is another finish. And then, oops, oh my god, everything's fallen out. Sorry, excuse me, just while I pick my scissors up. I'm just going to do a finish and a new start here together. So Elaine, Ellie Stitcher and I are hosting a SAL #Stitch Sheep for 2025 for this, and it's Lotus Lake Stitching Sheep calendar, and I'm just I'm not stitching them monthly. I was planning on doing them monthly and then I just carried on. So I have done March, April, May, and I finished June. That grass took a lot of stitching. I mean, as Elaine said, it is not Pink House Sampler grass stitching, but it did take quite a bit of doing. So really pleased with that one. Very, very cute sheep. And then I made a start on July. And I did make a mistake on this and have to unpick a little bit. You can't see it all actually. There are some grey stitches under there that you can't quite see, but anyway. So I'm really pleased with how these are stitching up. And I have got some of them finished off to display. That was my plan, so that I didn't have to wait a year to display them. And I forgot, those are the threads. And then my final finish is Blackbird Designs Loose Feathers Winter. So I have stitched summer, autumn and winter all on one piece of fabric as it was designed to do. Using the DMC conversion. Can't really see those very well actually. And here it is, all finished. Absolutely love this. I know I fell out with it for a while. I think it was when I was doing the autumn one, because the autumn one just seemed to take so much doing. And then once I got going on this winter one, it just seemed to go so much better. So I've got my initials on there. And then one thing that I did notice was there was no numbers that were the size, so I've had to use some smaller numbers that were in the chart for something else. So really, really pleased with that. And if I can get a frame, I am going to frame it. I think I need to have a look around the charity shops or maybe at the range sometime to see if I can get something. And while I am in this bag, I will show my whip. I've got some bits of paper in here. So my Saturday night stitching with my lovely friend Lainey is this one, and it's Eveline Cunningham from the Loose Feathers Winter. And I'm stitching this with, I just went through the hand-dyed threads that I had left because I'm in the process of selling the ones that are on bobbins. Yeah, so I just went through what I had left that were full skeins, and sorry, just going to pause you a minute. I'm back. yeah, for you it's just been a few seconds. For me it's been over 2 hours. Yeah, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law came with their dog to see us. Yeah. I'm not even sure where I was, to be honest. I'm not going to start again. I'm just going to carry on. Obviously, I was at this. I think I was saying I'd just pulled out some hand dyes from Stash that I thought would work for it. And this is on a piece of 36 count Fabrics by Crafti Kate, Fabric of the Month, and it's I can't remember whether it was June or November. I can't remember, but anyway, it doesn't show up terribly well as it is, but it is a lot prettier shade than it's showing there. So I have got quite a lot done since I last filmed. I've got some of the different shades of green, the leaves to do. Finish off this bottom border bit, and then I have some personalisation. I think I said last time that I was going to use my great grandma's name, my paternal grandma's mum. I haven't been able to find her actual birth date, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use her maiden name, and then I will also put her married name in there, her surname, so it'll be Ada Howden Gilby, and then underneath that I will just put 1876 to 1915. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a bit more done with that tonight. I absolutely love this. I'm so pleased that I picked this fabric for it, because I think it is just perfect. So yeah, I have been finding Ancestry quite interesting actually. I have got a 2-week trial to Ancestry, and then I'll just probably pay for a couple of months and see how I get on. Yeah, so that's it out of there. And then I had, so that's all my finishes. Obviously I have shown you a couple of whips there because what's that? They were in those bags. So my new start was Stacy Nash Designs, Stacy Nash Primitives actually, Rose Cottage Sampler Pinkeep. So another massive house, not quite pink house sampler massive, but and this is charted for DMC. That is what I'm using. Don't show particularly well, but that's what I'm using. And this is the November Fabric of the Month from November 2024 from Fabrics by Crafti Kate. Oh dear, that's really not showing up very well. Yeah, that looks very, very grey, and it's not. It's more like, I don't know really what you'd say. It's more like a lilac-y. So I've got some stitches to pop in on the roof because I haven't got enough stitches on my roof. And I only discovered that when I was doing the house. And yeah, I know I am using, it's quite a large piece of fabric, but it just wasn't worth me cutting anything off. There wouldn't have been enough to stitch anything, so I'm just stitching it on the full piece, because it is quite a large-ish for a Pinkeep. It's 8 3/4 by 8. So that's the new start. And then more whips. I keep forgetting that I've unzipped these. This is why things keep falling out of them, because I'm tipping them up rather than being sensible. So next whip is Modern Folk Embroidery Dream of Winter Garden, which was my New Year's Day start with lovely Sarah at Sew Me Sarah. And Sarah has finished hers, so I'm going to have a look at her last floss tube where she showed her finish. So I am now hoping, well, eventually, because apparently Sarah was saying the top and the bottom go a lot faster than this middle panel. And I've been putting off doing this bed because there's just colour changes and it's quite a fiddly thing, but I have made a start on it now, and I do have some bits to fill in that I've missed as well, and then I can sort out the top and the bottom. And I am using the DMC conversion, some nice pinks and reds in there, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Winterloom by Zweigart. And there we are. So yeah, I'm getting on quite well with it now, and now that I've finished a little bit of spring, I'm going to make this my only Wednesday night stitch. I'm not going to start anything else for a Wednesday until this is finished. So I really like the way it's looking. It just takes quite a bit of stitching, all of these little bits and pieces, but it is getting there. I feel like I'm got very distracted now, having taken such a long break in between. And I had to make sure the door was shut so the dog didn't come in here, because obviously I've got stuff all over this settee and stuff that would normally be on my table that is by my stitching spot, that's all over the other the other settee, so I didn't want him coming in here. So next whip, just bear with me a moment while I just open that so I can show you the threads. So the next whip is Flossabilities Cabin in the Woods, designed by lovely Lauren and her brother Sam. And this was my birthday start last year, and it's hashtag Cozy Cabin Birthday Sal. And I am flying along with this now, since obviously last time I saw you I said I had to uppick so much of my border because my border didn't meet. So I'm using the called for DMC threads, and I'm stitching it on 32 count grey with silver stars, and there we go. Just look at that. So I've got all the trees stitched now. I've got all the border filled in apart from these corner bits. I need to fill the bits in those corners. I have a little bit, one of these little tree bush things to fill in here. And then it will just be a case of doing the bottom underneath the cabin and the sky, filling in all the stars and everything. But I'm loving this, absolutely loving it. Really pretty. I love the use of the colours and everything, the design. Absolutely gorgeous. Oops. Sorry if that was jingling in my microphone, I do apologise for that. Come on, sort yourself yourself out, girl. And then, I'm not going to say my final whip because it isn't my final whip. Long Dog Samplers, the Pilgrim. And I stitched this on a Sunday as part of hashtag Long Dog Sampler Sunday, and also hashtag My First Long Dog Sal, and hashtag Let's Get the Dogs Out Sal. So I say this every time, but you may be new, so I'm using Anchor Black, DMC White, and Carrie's Creations Old World Red for the wording. And I finished page 8 and made a start on page 9, so absolutely chuffed to bits with how this is going. I think page 9 is probably going to take a fair bit of stitching. There is a lot in it, but I am still aiming for an end of year finish on this one if I can. Just look at that. Absolutely love this. It's so much fun to stitch. It really, really is. And it's certainly, well, hopefully it won't be my last long dog. I do have another one in my stash that I would quite like to. I'm not saying I'm going to stitch it next because I might just want a break, but there will be at least one more. And then my final whip . So I just need to, it's not exactly a cover page, I'll show you it back there. So it's no more Birdie's Crossing, no more sampler version 2. And I am using, I'm just using a variety of Victorian motto sampler threads that I bought when she had an Etsy store many, many years ago. And I'm stitching this on 20 count Balana, which is, sorry, I forgot to say what I was stitching the Pilgrim on. It's exactly the same fabric. I had enough left to start this on it, and it is going quite well. So I've just finished this motif here. That took a lot of stitching. This is, I forgot to say, this is my thread a day piece. I have missed a few days now and again, and I also I think last time I'd maybe nearly stitched the word xenophobia, or I had stitched, and then I made a start on these 2 crowns up here, got to this crown here, and it was too close here. So I thought, well, I can't leave it, because if I leave it like that and start this, something's going to be wrong somewhere. So I worked out where I was wrong, and it was here. I hadn't left a big enough gap between the A and the I in xenophobia, so I took all that back, restitched it, and everything's fine now. So I'm not particularly placing the colours maybe where they maybe should be. I don't know. I mean, I don't see that it matters because they're all of a very, very similar shading and stuff. So, and I have covered the expletive in the middle this time. So those are all my whips. So I have a planned new start for Tuesday because I've finished my loose feathers piece, Winter, and I have mentioned before that I just want a break from Blackbird Designs Tuesday that I do with my lovely friends Barb, Batty Bat 210 on Instagram, and Mouse Tales for Stitching Mouse also on Instagram. So it very much depends on whether I feel like kitting this up before Tuesday. So I'm going to be starting this hopefully, and it's Yasmin's Made with Love Never Forget, and I won this in a giveaway on Yaz's Flosstube quite a while ago now. I think it was when she'd first released it, and Yaz very kindly included some of the Tom and Lily creations threads as well, so it's just going to be a case of sorting my DMCs out for it as well. So I'm hoping to start this on Tuesday and see if I feel well enough, if I feel like it. And I'm going to stitch it on a 36 count pearl grey, which I hope everything will show up okay on that. I think it should. I've stitched other things on pearl grey before that have got white and that in them, and they do show up okay. So I won a giveaway on Deb at Deb Frog Cottage Designs Flosstube, and she was giving away a couple of Easter patterns. Oh no, I can't do that because that's going to show the chart. Yeah, so I don't know whether you can see that. That's Carrot Patch, so that's one that I won. Haven't got them printed out because my printer was playing up and I just had enough. And then why is that shit? That's a damned nuisance. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm gonna have to there. And Easter time. So Deb was very generous there. She gave everybody who'd commented those two charts. So thank you so much, Deb. That's very, very much appreciated. I don't think I'm going to get them stitched for this Easter, but I'll definitely do something with them for next Easter. That'll be something to do throughout this year, won't it? And right, haul. I've got 3 fabrics of the month. So this one, it's West Green Loft Yarns, and this is the April club, and I get a 36 count 13 by 18 I think it is. And this one is called Eleanor. Oh dear, that's blowing out. You can't, no that is not, that's a little bit better actually. Absolutely gorgeous colour. So I've not stitched on any of them yet, but I am really looking forward to it because they are very, very pretty. And then this morning I got, so that's the April one, and this morning I got the May one, and this one is called Barton Cottage. I love that. That is absolutely gorgeous. That arrived this morning. And then I got the March fabric of the month from Fabrics by Crafti Kate, and I get a 36 count linen. That's not showing up too badly. It's not brilliant, but it doesn't look too bad. And these are lovely to stitch on. Absolutely lovely. I did a I used a 32 count because if I don't particularly like the shade of the 36 count, I will change for the month to a 32. 32 count even weave usually. It depends on which one I prefer, the linen or the even weave if I change it. Usually change to the even weave actually. So I had used the 32 that I had, one of the 32s that I had, and then I've been using a couple of the linens as well, and they are really, really lovely to stitch on. And then, and I know you're all going to say, my God, I knew she wouldn't last long. Yeah, I bought some charts, and I've not finished because I'm going to get a couple of Nashville releases as well. When they're both in stock, I can both get them from the same place or whatever, so I don't have to pay 2 lots of postage or something like that. But I felt really fed up with myself this week, with not feeling well, and I'd already been thinking about it anyway, and just thinking about all the stuff that's going on, the tariffs and just everything going up, and I thought, God, if I wait till December, how much are things going to be? And I know there might not be a lot of difference, but I just thought, do you know what? Everything's a mess. Life's too short. I'm not going to go mad. I'll just get, and I've got money in my PayPal. In fact, I've got a load of charts that I need to sort out. I photographed them, but I just haven't got them put up to sell. But anyway, so I have fallen in love with Darlene Dion Designs Quakers. Not all the ones that she's done, but more or less the majority. I think there's only a couple that a patriotic one that I wouldn't get, and I don't know what the other one was now. But anyway, I decided I would buy a couple. And again, it's supporting a Canadian designer, so I got this one, which is Stitch All the Things, and I just think these are absolutely gorgeous. So I will be getting some more at a later date. And then the other one, I'll try and remember to link to Darlene's Etsy and her floss tube as well. And then the other one that I got, I think it's the most recent Quaker, and that is Count Your Blessings. And I think these would be quite nice as well. I think I mentioned last time Lisa, damn it, Lisa, I'm so sorry. I mean, you might not watch, but I've forgotten your floss tube. Did I list it last time? Yes, I did. Lisa, Lost in Stitches, and she was talking about doing little pillows with her, the female members of her family tree in it, and I think these would be quite. I mean, probably not that one because it's Stitch All the Things, but something like these with Count Your Blessings on. I think that would be quite nice, just to maybe pop some initials in there. So yeah, I'm sure you'll all know Darlene, I'm sure you will, but if not, do go and have a look. She's got some, she doesn't just have Quakers, there's others as well, but she does have a lot of lovely designs. Right, I think that is it. I have watched some floss tubes, but I'm not going to name them. I haven't written anything down because, as I say, I wasn't really sure when I was going to film this and whether I was just going to leave it for another 2 weeks. I didn't really want to, so yeah, so as I say, I will buy a couple more charts, a couple of Nashville releases, I think. When I can get them either both from one place or somewhere that does free postage or whatever. So yeah, and as I say, I have signed up to, well, I had an Ancestry account, so I've got the 2-week free trial, and then I'll probably maybe do a couple of months paid to see what I can find. I believe I have found my granddad. I mentioned last time that his name was Richard Fisher, and there's a lot of Richard Fishers. Or there seems to be a lot of Richard Fishers, but I think I have got him, and I think I've got his parents and possibly their parents as well. So my mum's mum was Dorothy May, and her maiden name was Heron. And I'd found her in a couple of other trees, and I'm looking at them and thinking, those aren't the parents that I think they are. So I tried to do a bit more digging, and I came across her and my granddad married in 1920, and I came across her in the 1921 census, Dorothy May Fisher, and living with her parents. So I now know that I had the right people, which is good. And I did ask. I asked my cousin just to ask her dad. Just messaged her on Facebook and asked her to ask her dad, and he didn't know what his grandparents were called. And then neither did one of my aunties. So then yesterday, I was going to go see my other auntie on Monday when I started to feel poorly. So I didn't go, and then yesterday I thought, yeah, I don't feel too bad, I'll go see her. And she didn't know, but I did say to her, can you remember any of your aunties and uncles' names? And she came up with a couple, and I thought, yeah, that is definitely the family I thought. So I'm down the right track now, which is good. Sorry, if you're not interested in this, please do feel free not to listen to me waffle about my ancestors. And then my paternal grandma, her mum. No. My paternal granddad, his mum. Her maiden name was Thompson, and her dad was John Thompson, and her mum's name was Mary. I do not know what her mum's maiden name was, and I cannot, because there is a lot of John Thompsons married to Marys. So yeah, that's proving a bit difficult, but I'll do a bit more digging at some point when I feel well enough to be in front of my laptop searching for stuff. So I'm quite enjoying that as well, and I can't wait to get back to it. Just to see what else I can find. And I think I said once before, obviously my great grandma who I'm going to put on that on my replace Eveline Cunningham with her name. She died in 1915, and I just wasn't sure whether great granddad had remarried. Anyway, he did. So I now know who I had listed as great gran on my mum and dad's wedding photos. I now know who she is. So, at least I am finding some bits out. Anyway, I am waffling, and I really, really should go get myself a really good drink, and I don't know whether I'm going to listen to this back. I hope it's okay. I will see. So I will see. It will be less than a fortnight the next time I film, I would think. So thank you so much for watching and bearing with me while I waffle on, if you have, about Ancestry. So thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in just under 2 weeks. So there may not be quite as much stitching done, but I will hopefully see you then. Take care, everybody, and enjoy every stitch. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.